Dearest beloved divine friends and brothers, I had so many calls and disturbances during this reading, and so I had to stop, and I'm still hoping to catch it. I'm home now from the office. I am home now, and it's now 10 minutes to 6. It's about approaching time for Maghrib, but I just wish to draw to your attention, and there might be a slight repeat. Because I don't have the time to check it out into the exact words that I spoke. I'm reading that Designs Unlimited has never had any problems in the last few years when the APNO was in government. My understanding is that they have always been supplying for a number of years, even during the years of the APNO in government. Now the PPPC is in government, they just can't seem to supply because of envies and unnecessary hate and trickery by certain elements within the ministry, to my opinion, the elements who needs to be found. Is it because the young man's father is the minister? Suddenly this all seems like politically clutching beach sand in water, or as we proverbially say, clinging to straws. It is quite evident that the goal is to disaffect the character of young Tariq Dharamlal. Yes, brothers, remember this is in the raw, so you get disturbances. There's not much chances of repairing and so on. The most important thing is to get the points across, friends and family. It is sad that there are some politicians who love to target the children of individuals who do not share their points of view, especially as it relates to politics. Political maniacs like Mahipaul lack the capacity and vision to recognize that you do not put people's children into humiliating situations because you despise the parent. And it is said, ladies and gentlemen, as I articulate, that the children must never carry the sins of the father. It is the law of God. Mr. Ganesh Mahipaul is considered to be a citizen who is usually treated with a great deal of disrespect everywhere. A commentary on that is that I know people in his own party that knows that he's an opportunist for money and so on. I heard also that in the same ministry, some of these guys some guys there were getting kickbacks. And that's why they are so annoyed that the tender might have gone to a lower bidder, because even though they are out, they're still trying to run the government. It happened to so many people I know who are out of government are still trying to run the government. Just like some political nonsensicalities are trying to run certain commissions and institutions in this country. He is so disrespected that even people in that party distance themselves from him. But they use him because he is of a certain ethnic or race characteristic. So it's like useful. But he has failed despicably, and he needs to go and start to collect and make some money and be busy composting cow, chicken, and pig dung, and make money and stop trying to get other people's lives affected, friends and families. It seems to me that from all his comments and general behavior, especially those of recent times, this fellow needs to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist to help him map his brains. And I will map his brains in his skull, so that he can see and understand people's feelings, especially those of innocent children of persons. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I recall some time ago, I was having a discussion on Facebook with several prominent individuals, and one who wished he was prominent by intellectualism, huge business, and then he lost the business through poor management skills and communication. And I was talking about something that a rice miller, big one, and farmer did to me and used me. But I never called a name. But that guy exposed himself by attacking my daughter. He just started to attack one of my children. And he thought I would be weak, and he keep on, I'm correcting and guiding, he keep on attacking my daughter. He keep on attacking my daughter until his own people who thought they admired him, some of whom were calling him uncle, but prominent people, give him a good piece of buck up, and then he shut his mouth. People love to bring in people's children. And you know what? That guy also have children. He has his own children. Back to the article. I wish to take this opportunity to advise Mr. Mahipaul, as I did to another warlord in his faction. But of course, Mahipaul is no warlord. He's nothing. That what you put out is what you will receive. And what you sow is what you will reap. If you target other people's children and you try to disaffect other people's characters, then prepare for when the table turns. The universe is not blind, and the world, through automation, sets up its karmic powers to teach lessons, and indeed, the guilty obtain their wrath, so that all is properly balanced. Targeting the children of another is a grievous sin. Simply because you do not like a parent or the things they say, it is quite obvious that just like his political mentor, known as Evil Eyes, Mr. Mahipaul has lost his human conscience, the wand of God that warns people when they are wrong or telling lies. When people do not listen to the warnings of human conscience, it is known to go to sleep, as in the case of Mahipaul and his mentor, Evil Eyes. Worse still, it is all for a small tender that is just merely 80,000 Guyana dollars. It's a tender. It wasn't even approved. What a disgraceful set of things. And sometime in the past, that company, even though the boy don't own it anymore, but he is marked as the founder, was awarded some contract under $400,000. And friends of his tendered for 500,000 plus, so that it was awarded to that company, and that company, and he knows now that certain people can get kickbacks from the previous grouping who was put there to collect free tax dollars without doing any kind of work. Mr. Mahipaul has lost his human conscience, the wand of God that warns people when they are wrong or telling lies. When people do not listen to the warnings of human conscience, it is known to go to sleep. As is the case of Mr. Mahipaul and his mentor, aka Evil Eyes. Back to the article. Worse still, it is such a small tender, and I'm repeating for emphasis, ladies and gentlemen, a mere 80,000 Guyana dollars tender that was not even awarded. This just all smacks of total wickedness, with the accuser possessing a political pygmy attitude and mindset. It is not like that of the hundreds of millions of dollars, and in some cases billions of dollars, that were awarded to friends and families during the last regime. Mr. Mahipaul, and I'm sorry I got him out of training, refer to him as Mr., but he doesn't even deserve that title. I would advise you, sir, sorry, I withdraw the word sir. You don't even deserve to be called sir. You're too wicked, the big man. Grow up, behave with these kinds of seeds planted by you and your political associates. You convince yourself that you will never recover any kind of influence by the karmic dispensation of the universe. If you look, Mahipaul, and analyze yourself, you'll realize that you and the Evil Eyes are deteriorating from human norms and expectations. And if I may add, as decent, elegant human beings. You've lost your elegance. You're too bitter. You can't even enjoy, you can't even drink water. You can't take a shower. You can't even wake and watch your face. And this is my commentary, ladies and gentlemen, on my commentary that was published in Guyana Times and the Guyana Chronicle today, this date, ladies and gentlemen. I advise you, Mr. Mahipaul, smoke your pipe very hard, inhale extremely deep, do not exhale. It is only then that you might be able to see something of worth. And then maybe your conscience will wake up. While I know you will never say you are sorry, it will be correct. It will be the correct thing to apologize to the youth you wronged. But you don't, commentary, you don't have that compunction of elegance. You don't have that. I was taught to me by my African teachers, ancestors, who should be called sir, Mr., and how to apologize. You don't have that in you, Mahipaul. After all, it is quite obvious that you read something and you jump into it without even worrying or ensuring the information is factual. Only low-level thinkers, ladies and gentlemen, low-level minded people, evil minds and evil eyes are like this. Back to the article as I close, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Editor, for your approval of this missive. The intention is to make this guidance available to Mr. Mahipaul, who is in serious need of some spiritual and psychological upliftment. Sincerely, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan. And we know this because he's just an evil guy and his conscience is blocked, it's locked. He is actually mentally dead, friends and families. Let's pray in our religions to help the poor guy. He's so despotic and desperate for power. Continue the way you're doing, and you guys will continue to destroy the People's National Congress. That's a great institution of this country. But you guys, you few, are going to destroy this great People's National Congress. And all of you needs to be expelled, and the proper opposition leader need to be appointed. Your friend, your brother, me, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan, saying thank you for tuning into this, in the raw. RK's Guyana Free Media, saying farewell, friends, as I bless you, your family, our country, our leaders.